Cryptocurrency is up. It's going to make a lot of money. Now, which of the altcoins will make you wealthy? Is it Cardano? Is it Avalanche? Is it XRP? Is it ICP? We're going to have that discussion. We also have Dan from the Chart Guys joining us in a little bit to break down the charts. What are some good trade setups? What is getting ready to pump? How much further will XRP's price decline continue? Speaking of XRP, we've got an XRP video coming out today. Big news as the stablecoin officially goes live. We'll also talk about a little bit about why one multi-billionaire is saying he regrets not buying crypto in 2022 when the bear market hit. So lots to talk about today. We have that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, the home of the entertaining, focused,
the home of the never-ending construction.
Can I have my intro, bro, please? Thank you. Unlike other channels and other co-hosts, we take old, boring, and stale commentary and we repackage it up in a fun and sexy way.
And do a lot of construction.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good week, man.
Is it?
It's gonna be a good week.
Yeah, we're got some big plans coming up. Big things happening. We lost knickknacks.
Knick-knack, paddywhack.
So now we just got Blue Wall. Soon to be replaced.
No
with,
blue shirt, though. No blue shirt.
Wow.
Black and white shirt.
Wow. Do you have any solid colors? I'm just curious. You always got some kind of
Says
weird
the guy
print.
who never wears solid colors.
I have solid colors. I mean, look at Rocco. Rocco's looking stylish. He's got the V-neck, got collar popping out of there. You look very handsome today. It must be that green portfolio with all that XRP you're holding. Man's over there just counting his XRP every day.
You know, I got a text from Frank. You know Frank?
Big Frank?
Yeah. He said, "Oh, dude, I just found 1,000 XRP in the wallet." He's like, "Do I send it to KuCoin to sell it?" I was like, "Don't sell it. What are you doing? Don't sell it. It's about to pop off." So again,
it's like you're like over here, like looking through your old emails. You're like, what's my doctor's email? I need an
XRP wallet.
Yeah, you're like, oh crap, where did that come from?
Bitcoin wallet.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Bitcoin, I just want to share some inflows with you. So yesterday, we have $676 million worth of inflows. This is according to Farside. 693 million was from BlackRock. You see Fidelity, 52.2 million, Bitwise, 7.8, and ARK Invest, they lost around $93.5 million. So BlackRock continues to, or BlackRock's investors continue to gobble up these Bitcoin dips. It's a fight. It's a race to the top between all of BlackRock's investors and, well, one man, Michael Saylor. I think he put out a post. They spent $15 billion in the month of November, Robin. $15 billion in the month of November in just buying Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, man's lost his damn marbles. So, but we talked about this before the ETF went live. When the ETF went live, we've had people like James Seyfert on our show say, look, they have a certain percentage of their allocation, and when the price of Bitcoin moves up or down, they readjust their portfolios, right? If their allocation is 5% and Bitcoin's price rises, and now that's worth 6%, they will sell off to bring it back down to 5%. But on the flip side, when the price goes down like it has been, and now it's at 3 to 4%, they will buy back up to that 5%, and that brings stability to the price of Bitcoin, or at the very least, the dips that happen are very short-lived and they're bought up fairly quickly. There is one indicator that is proven, and it is none other, Robin, than the McRib indicator. I know you're a big fan of the McRib. It is back, and guess what, Robin? Bitcoin historically, and I'm going to ask Dan about this. And I know Dan's backstage. Dan, we're going to bring you on in a second, but I want you to pull up this McRib. Every time it comes back, Bitcoin 2X's. I mean, look at this chart. Charts don't lie. Charts don't lie. McRib returns, Bitcoin goes from 20 to 50K. McRib returns, Bitcoin goes from 35 to 70K. And where are we today, guys? The McRib is back.
Well, I mean, in 2009, McDonald's went from a 4-piece to a 5-piece. And so perhaps that was the kickoff to the large, to perhaps Satoshi,
right?
That extra nugget inspired him.
That makes sense
to write the Bitcoin white paper. I'm just saying that, there's a lot of ties.
What kind of sauce do you think Satoshi did with his nugget? Barbecue?
I think he's like
buffalo?
He seems like a honey mustard kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yogurt and Doritos.
Or hot mustard, because Satoshi, obviously that's an Asian name.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's very popular in Asian restaurants. It's hot mustard. So just
okay.
So
interesting. All right, cool. All right, you know what? Let's bring Dan on. Dan, welcome back to the channel, man. It's been a while since we've had you on. We know you've been traveling, you've been doing your thing, but it's always a pleasure to have you back here. How have you been, man? It's been a while. How have you been? We miss you.
I'm great. Glad to be back. Nice to see Cardano ripping for you all.
I know. We talked about this backstage. We're like, we've been harping on damn Cardano since 30 cents, and we kept asking for charts, and here we are.
Don't worry. We've had plenty. Told you so. Told you.
Hey, eventually you'll be right? The timing might be a little off.
Eventually, sometimes you're not. We've had a lot of people pumping hex forever.
You also said,
and then eventually that thing's going to go to zero. But
anyways, Dan, before we get into the most important thing here, the McRib indicator, how much weight do you put into this? Is this something you look for when you're looking to open long positions?
Absolutely. I've been staking out, by McDonald's overnight with some binoculars, keeping an eye out. And once they put that McRib sign up, it was all in, straight from the phone.
Are you a fan of the McRib? Seriously, do you
no, I don't eat bullshit.
Fair enough. That's a good way to put it. I won't share my thoughts on the McRib in that case. Dan, Bitcoin under 95K officially. We know Bitcoin dominance dropped from over 60%, currently sitting at 53.7. This has a lot of people are saying, hey, alt season is here, which makes sense. We look at 24-hour. Sandbox is up 28%. GALA, which Robin mentioned like 3 days ago, I think it was at like 2 pennies. That is up 6.5 cents, up 70% on the 7-day, up 27% on the 24-hour. So even coins like EOS are pumping. And so what do you see on the Bitcoin chart? Are we seeing distribution into altcoins, or are we getting ready for a new leg up here in December? What are you seeing on the Bitcoin chart?
So we're definitely sideways, and I got these trend lines just as a visual guide. This is the 4-hour chart. So we've got a break is coming here. Volatility is about to pick up sooner rather than later. And, there's the dominance, as we know, has dropped and fallen off a cliff. There's 2 ways that this dominance chart is going to get a bit of a bounce. It's either crypto's dropping and altcoins are dropping faster, or Bitcoin breaks this sideways range bullish, gets over 100,000, leads the way up for another leg. That would obviously be the best case scenario for crypto bulls. If dominance cools things off, bounces a bit, Bitcoin's over 100,000, new leg up, and then we just look to do it all over again. The best case scenario for the altcoin market is when Bitcoin is trading sideways and dominance is dropping. And that's what's been going on the last 2 weeks. And we've certainly seen the results of some very significant runs in a whole bunch of coins. And so it's possible we get, more of that. We just got to see Bitcoin over 100,000 here.
You think, I know we don't have any crystal balls here, but do you think we get that 100K by the end of the year, Dan?
It's certainly favorable. I mean, you go with the trend, right? The trend is your friend. That's a significant period of time. And, whenever I'm 50-50 on something, like a tightening range here, I can be 50-50 on this, but because of the prevailing trend, you favor the bulls. And so, until something significantly changes, bull is the way to be looking. Obviously protecting, we're going to see weekly consolidation in altcoins and in Bitcoin eventually. So, we don't want to forget, we don't want to get over leveraged. You see XRP and it had a real fast drop there a couple days ago. And you just know that that's people that were way too leveraged long getting stopped out on a quick flush. It was like a 20% drop in 30 minutes. So just don't get too over leveraged long. weekly consolidation is going to be the next time to be looking long for swing positions on a bunch of these charts. I mean, here's XRP. When we do top out, we know a weekly higher low is going to be most likely wherever that is. So, take a little bit of profit into euphoria, have some cash for longer term higher lows, because if this is going to be a significant alt season, then it will have to see weekly, higher lows and higher highs, and we'll have to continue for months. So don't burn yourself out here before things really get going.
Great advice there. Dan, Cardano, ADA, $1.20, $1.15. But that $1.18 to $1.20 level is a key resistance level. What do you foresee once that level does get broken? And first of all, what does the structure of the chart look like? And then once that level gets broken, what's the next key area for Cardano to potentially run into some significant resistance?
So there's a lot of price action from the way down and actually from the way up, but it's a very wide zone there, the 125 to 160 essentially. But it's the kind of thing where there's some space to work with. Again, we know we came right off the lows, monster move. We know a weekly higher low is the most likely scenario. Just need to ensure that whenever we get that weekly consolidation, use your Fibonacci retracements and ensure that you're not giving back more than half the move. If you're retracing, 35, 40%, it favors continuation. If you retrace 50%, it then favors a tightening range. So keep an eye on what that retracement looks like once we get it. And we can see even here on the daily, every retracement that we've seen has been a clear bull flag. And the simple statement is ADA bulls keep complete control as long as this EMA 12 remains support. And so that's a good visual guide. I was using that on the dominance. I was saying on the weekly chart, it held for 6 months. And so it was nothing changes if weekly EMA 12 is support. And then as soon as it's lost, everything changes. And so you want to identify those things where you can make a clear statement. Nothing changes if daily EMA 12 is support. When we lose it, zoom out and look for weekly consolidation.
Awesome. Can we hop over to Avalanche? Avalanche had a 24% move on the 7-day, over $53. AVAX is a project that I'm very bullish on from a fundamental standpoint and what they're doing. But what are you seeing on the chart? I know a lot of people, not just in our community, but just in my circle of friends, they've heard of the off the grid game. They've heard the name Avalanche thrown around, and they keep asking, I want to get in. I'm like, look, this thing is running hot. You want to wait for it to stop. Where's the likely next stop, the next level of support once we do get that consolidation or retest for Avalanche?
So the major resistance zones in the low 60s from where we topped out back earlier in the year. Again, same thing as far as a guide for now. The reason I use EMA 12 is because I never used it as a stock trader for 7 years. 2017 crypto, GDAX, now Coinbase, they had it on their charts. You couldn't change it. I was forced to stare at this EMA 12. And I realized, man, this thing really is useful in terms of coming into play. And so now I use it in all my trading and have ever since the last 7 years. And you can see why. It's just every period of consolidation on the strongest uptrends. This is it's almost like I imagine, you're bowling and you pull up the bumpers on the side so you don't go in the gutter. That's your bumper for a bull trend. And if it's holding, there's nothing to worry about. Same deal. When we lose it, we're going to zoom out. We're going to look for a weekly higher low. But again, this is back burner. We talked about the back burner trade strategy many times on this show. But in a raging bull market, you look for your back burners, which is just first time you hit oversold conditions on a certain time frame. So looking back on the way up, here was first hourly oversold. That's the best time you could have bought. We came right down and got right towards it again. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for first 4-hour oversold conditions to align with weekly higher lows if it's going to remain the strongest longer term uptrend. So if you've got, if you're trying to be patient at this point, and on many charts you should be patient at this point, you're patiently waiting for 4-hour oversold conditions to look for swing entries.
Awesome. That is such a, I'm all about simplicity, right? That is such a simple way, and I mean that in a good way, of people just being able to be like, okay, is this a good time? Let me go to the lower time frames. Is this thing oversold? If it matches up, and so thank you for sharing that. And you've done it multiple times. So, and you did a video on this, correct? On your YouTube channel?
Yeah, if you just Google chart guys back burner, honestly, when I die, I'll have an imprint left on the internet world, and that will be my biggest contribution is going to be this back burner for what it's done to help people out in bull markets to get good risk reward entries, to not be chasing. Again, it's easily the most profitable trading strategy that I've employed in my career. So again, just chart guys back burner, and it should come right up on Google. Back burner trade strategy. Watch it and utilize it. It's definitely a good one.
And I'll just, actually, it's the first one, correct, Dan? Back burner trade strategy.
Yeah, the other one's just a review of. But yeah, I mean, I use it in all markets. I've been using the stock market has been very strong, as we know. I've been using it there. It's just so good. Obviously, it's not. Sometimes it doesn't work and you got to manage your risk and all that. But again, just in terms of trying to break things down for people, that is the easy. If you know what you're doing to a certain degree, the back burner trade strategy is definitely something to get comfortable with.
Amen to that. And I actually posted the link to that video in the comment section. It's pinned to the top. So highly recommend after the show, copy that, save it, and go watch it. I've watched it twice. I'm going to go watch it again because it's always good to brush up on important things when it comes to TA. Dan, ICP, Internet Computer Protocol, sitting at $14.33. That is up 25% on the 7-day. What are you seeing on the ICP chart?
So I would suggest distinguishing, there's a number of names. We just looked at two of them that have not broken the March high, the April high from earlier in the year. And I would, make a list of names that have not broken this level and names that have. And obviously, names that are in blue sky breakout or have broken resistance are better positioned for price discovery and things like that. And, there's the worst case scenario for these coins that have not broken the spring highs would be if we were to fail and then just remain within a tightening range for a while. There's no indication of that at this point, but we just want to be aware that resistance level is still worth paying attention to. And again, without even looking, I know we're just riding that daily EMA 12, where every period of consolidation has been seeing continuation off of that. And again, same deal. We call this a stair step, where you just set a higher low every single candle. And so we've now done that 8 days in a row. So again, you're not buying here after that. The risk reward is not worth it. You need to wait for some daily consolidation. You look for hourly oversold conditions to try and align with the daily higher low being set. And that is what I'd be looking at here if you're looking long on. Again, just lay it out. One of the reasons I call it a back burner strategy is because you look at a chart that's running away from you and you say, all right, I know the next trade that I'm looking for will be oversold conditions on this time frame, and then I just set that trade on the back burner. I'm not acting on it now, and I wait for the trade conditions to come to me, and that prevents you from chasing, which obviously you don't want to be doing. But again, if you're already in an ICP position, we're just riding up the 4-hour EMA 12. There's nothing to worry about at this point. When you lose the 4-hour uptrend, every little move here is a higher low. When we lose it, we zoom out to the daily. We look for the daily higher low. When we lose the daily uptrend, we zoom out. We look for the weekly higher low. So it's just one time frame at a time. And right now, if you're in a position, I would just be watching this 4-hour, which has remained in a strong uptrend over the last handful of days.
Awesome. You mentioned blue sky breakout. Ondo is just been on fire, right? And we did an Ondo video. We're going to do an Ondo video tomorrow on this channel. And so a lot of big news with Ondo. It's obviously got that RWA narrative. Now, Dan, when you look at a chart like this, right, we're in uncharted territory. Are there any tools you use to try to figure out, hey, when is this thing going to stop? Do you look at different indicators like volume, like fib extensions? What do you use, and what are you seeing? What do you take away from this Ondo chart, and how much higher do you think this thing can go?
So the beauty of price discovery is again, things that don't have a lot of history can run the hardest. That's why, IPOs and things like that in the stock world, once you get back to that high, it's extremely powerful. You want to see the bulls. As far as how high can we go, the way that I take profit is, if I'm number one, if you've got life-changing gains, you take some off the table automatically. Again, you're not going to nail tops. Nobody should anticipate nailing tops. The professionals don't anticipate nailing tops. You scale out, just like you DCA in and you accumulate in the bear market, you scale out in a bull market. And so, if you've got euphoria, if you've got life-changing gains, if you've exceeded your target, you take a bit off. It can be 20%, whatever it is, and then you can let the rest of the position ride out. So I take some off into euphoria, and then I just determine a time frame that is my guide. And I'll say, all right, as long as we keep setting daily higher lows, I have nothing to worry about. I could just keep moving up my stop. So maybe, I've got half of my remaining position. I've got a stop loss under 114. Next time we set a daily higher low, I walk my stop loss up. And I just got this level marked here. This is our previous all-time high resistance. Best case for bulls is you want to see a back test of that level and a hold of it. You want previous resistance to act as support. So next time we do see daily consolidation, ideally we hold that upper 140 zone and establish a daily higher low from there. And again, it's just this EMA 12. We hold it, we hold it, we hold it, we hold it. That means the party is not done if we keep holding it. And we got a lot of space where we can pull back 20% plus and still be holding that EMA at this point. So, I look at psychological levels. $2 is something to be keeping an eye on. It's not surprising we slowed down just under it. So I know some people use fib extensions for targets. I personally don't. I just look at psychological levels. As you mentioned, volume. You can use volume climaxes. XRP was running. I saw this volume going to be the highest volume of the entire move. And my friend texted me about buying at 280. And so that told me we're probably,
you got those too?
Oh yeah. We're probably going to set a short-term top here in the near term. But again, just like, I call them the high flyers. Obviously XRP was a high flyer, but the best entries after missing a high flyer is those daily higher lows. And ADA had one, and MANA and Sand. Same thing where, you just run, but you look for that daily higher low entry, knowing it's the most likely scenario. And we've seen some really nice continuation off of those healthy periods of daily consolidation after that high flying move. So XRP is on my list for a daily higher low next time we see it. And forget the name. I'm off track here. What were we talking about?
Ondo.
Ondo, there it is. So again, same thing. We know that a daily higher low is going to be the most likely scenario whenever we top out. We're not going to top out if we're keeping a 4-hour uptrend. So I can be zoomed into the 4-hour trend. When we lose it, I zoom out, I watch for hourly oversold, and I look for it to try and mark a daily higher low if it's going to remain in a strong uptrend.
Awesome. Dan, love your breakdown of the charts, man. Thank you so much. We also love that you support this channel. We did our pre-orders of the Almanac. Started off as a joke. And I specifically remember asking you if you would buy one. And I think you did, right? You purchased one. You're also doing a giveaway for one of your community members. And I don't know if you've seen this video, but we officially got back we had to approve whether we wanted gloss or matte. And so we just want to share this video with you here with the people who have ordered and the people who haven't ordered, maybe to convince you to order one, because this is something that no one has ever done in our space. And so this is what this thing is going to look like. And so you had the two versions that we had to pick from. You had the gloss, and the one he's picking up right now is the matte. So we decided to go with the matte edition. And guys, I don't know if you can tell from here, but these are the high quality, thick magazine pages. We paid extra for those. Tons of content in there. And so if you got one, we're excited for you to receive it and let us know what you think. Also, if you haven't ordered one, you want to support the channel. You also want to get some amazing content for yourself and maybe for someone in your circle of friends or family who maybe is intrigued by cryptocurrency. This is a great resource and tool. And so I'll drop this link in the comment section. And so, Dan, I just want to say thank you for supporting us and with this endeavor. We appreciate you, my friend. And then before we let you go, will you just let people know where they can get more Dan and the Chart Guys if they seek more of that information?
At Chart Guys on Twitter, Chart Guys on YouTube, chartguys.com for the website, and putting out lots of free content like the back burner. Again, goal is to help you keep your gains because we're going to come to a fear market again. It's not on the horizon just yet, but we know it's coming. We're going to drop 50% in a bunch of these names, and you don't want to be holding the bag. And if this is your first cycle, you need to be paying extra attention. If it's your second cycle or third cycle, I know you already know the deal, and you're not going to let it happen again. So preserve those gains.
That's some excellent advice. We always talk about how much money we're making, but how much money are we keeping? I think that's the more important thing. So, Dan, thank you again, my friend. We look forward to having you on soon, and we appreciate you as always. We'll see you next time.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Take care, brother. I love
you. Yeah,
Dan the man. Before we move forward, I want to give a big thank you to today's channel sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by Legacy Network and their Legacy Academy app, which has been live over 500,000 downloads. We had Fabio, the founder, on the show yesterday. Also, excited to announce I've gotten the names of the first 10 orders of the Almanac. You will be receiving some free LGCT tokens. That token is going live by the end of the year. And so I highly recommend you join their Telegram to stay up to date on everything with the token generation event and everything happening with Legacy Academy. That link is in the description of this video. Now, I want to share, so yesterday we kind of talked about Trump's appointee potentially for the SEC chair. Well, it is official. He has nominated Paul Atkins to lead the SEC. Why is this important? This is partly the reason why Ondo really rallied, because Paul Atkins sits on the advisory board for Securities, which works directly with BlackRock and Ondo. So, big news here. This is a very pro-crypto and pro-Bitcoin candidate. Will he accept it? I saw some rumors flying around that he's reluctant to do so because of the mess that Gary Gensler created. But we'll see what happens. This is posted by iTrust, which, by the way, if you're looking to make some gains and not pay taxes when you retire, like a retirement for crypto, iTrust is the gold standard. They're the chain link of crypto IRAs. We do have an affiliate link. I think they give you like a free $100 once you fund your account. And so use the link in the description, set up an iTrust account. They got a bunch of new coins in there that they added, including some of the hot and top meme coins. And then I want to share this video. This is New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Listen to what he had to say.
We were a country and a city that led the globe in innovation. And look at us now. It's time for a change. And I've said this for years, and I'm happy that Elon is going to be part of those who are moving that change forward. We should not be afraid of Bitcoin. Remember y'all laughed at me when I first got my Bitcoin? Who's laughing now? Go look at my Bitcoin now. Y'all all mock me. You're taking your first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin? What's wrong with you? Now you wish you would have done it. You know?
Yeah, I love that, bro. I love that. This is the mayor of the largest city. Well, I don't know, like by population, but like the most well-renowned city. Like if there's like the gold like mayor position, it's in New York City, right?
Yeah.
And another financial capital of the world. And look at the smile on his face. My dude must be big in his portfolio, man. Rob, and I also mentioned Ken Griffin. This man is worth north of $45 billion in personal wealth. He says he regrets not buying crypto in this bear market. I don't know, man.
You know who Ken Griffin is, right?
Of course, Citadel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the famous
short thing. Yeah. I don't give a shit. You buy some crypto, man, pump our bags. All I'm saying is you're here now, and whether you just joined now or you were here in 2022 when everything was crashing and you were buying crypto, you front run the most influential, wealthy people in the world, and they're sitting there and saying, essentially, I wish I did what you did. I wish I would have bought the dips. I wish I would have had some conviction. I wish I would have put my money into crypto, into Bitcoin, into altcoins. And here we are. And so it's exciting, man. I'm very excited. Any thoughts on what Mayor Adams or Mr. Griffin said? Or Donald Trump's pick for SEC chair? I know there's 3 different topics there, but feel free to expand on any of those.
Oh, there's going to be so many I told you so's, and what the mayor just did there
wasn't I told you so.
Yeah, just basically like gotcha. I think the best one is going to be Saylor, though. I mean, when Michael Saylor, I mean, just think about, let's just fast forward to 2032 or something, where we're 3 cycles further away, 3 halving cycles away from where we're at now. So potentially 3 more bull markets. I'd expect Bitcoin to be north of $1 million, probably north of like $10 or $20 million per coin. And I mean, MicroStrategy will probably be the wealthiest company internationally right? Probably more so than BlackRock and even majority of all the nations in the globally, just because they hold over 2% of the supply. And, you know, with so much Bitcoin being burned and lost over the years, that 2% realistically is probably more towards 7 or 8% of all of the Bitcoin that there's available is going to be held by one company. And so a lot of showboating.
Can you imagine?
A lot of showboating.
Ground Squirrel said Ken Griffin equals exit liquidity. Can you imagine if multi-billionaires are our exit liquidity? Oh God, that would be so
got your ass.
Oh man.
Right at the top. I need to cash out, baby.
You know, actually I'm not gonna ask that question. Do you have some recognitions you'd like to give my friend?
Yeah, if you are new here, if you're watching for the first time or you have yet to say anything while watching the show, drop something in the chat. We'd love to give you a little shout out. I do got a few new faces. We got Cariane. I know
Cariane.
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 God!
He's trying to sound exquisite.
Also, we got Aaron, Mr. Brown, Ground Squirrel, Kelvinator, Illusion 2D, T. Tataka, Moist Water, Jared, Jesse Walker, Don Carlos, Russian name. I
was going to say, what's that name there, Rob?
And then also got Craig Gilberto as well. Russian name said, do you ship internationally? Which I said,
weren't you married to a Russian?
I was.
You didn't learn their language?
I know
it's a hard language to learn.
I know a couple words. Privyet.
Privyet.
And then
Mortadella.
there's Loshit. That's
Lotion?
Loshit.
Loshit.
That's a horse.
Oh.
Yeah. Was strong.
Also, Chef X3. Oh, man. All right, dude, today's a big day. If you are an XRP fan or an XRP holder, Robin is official. RLUSD is live. Live. Did a video on this and the impact it's going to have on the XRP token's price. And I made a statement in there that you might listen to and say, what?
Carrie Ann is just like awful pronunciation.
Yeah, Carrie Ann, let me tell you something here. It's not personal, I promise. This man can't help himself. It's just, it is what it is. But he loves you nonetheless. Now, I did an XRP video again, and I made a statement in that video that when you watch, you're like, what is this dude talking about? But it'll make sense, I promise. You got to watch the video to find out. Rob, I need your thoughts on this, man. RLUSD, XRP. Can we see it on Cardano? Can we see it on some other blockchains? Can we see it used globally? And what are your thoughts on what this does for XRP as a whole, as a network?
I think interesting is we've seen Cardano blowing up, but someone has had a very particular interest in the stablecoin. It's Charles Hoskinson.
Douglas.
And so if you look here on this, you got Charles coming out excited about RLUSD. And so coming from Charles handle, I'm starting to think, I'm like, you know, there's what's
going to be integrated, dude.
It's
going to.
What's the big hole in Cardano's ecosystem? It's that stable coin. And maybe this will be their go-to stable coin. I'd like to think that Coinbase is going to start using the RLUSD.
Well, they added support for it.
Yeah.
But not
it's pure speculation. But I would say, I think that, you know what, Coinbase has went tooth and nail against the SEC, and so has Ripple. And, you know, the two probably sitting there in the locker room together, but like, and we did it, man. We did it, me and you.
What are they playing? What sport are they playing? Just curious.
Like rugby or something.
Rugby,
you know.
I don't know. They
something we don't understand the rules.
They look more
just like the SEC, you don't understand the rules.
What's that one game?
You know, there's a lot of hitting going on.
Is that one game bocce ball?
Anyway, nobody knows what you're talking about.
Rocco knows what I'm talking about.
No, he doesn't.
You don't know bocce ball? Isn't that an Italian thing? No, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm serious.
You know all of it, and I don't know.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Bocce ball.
Bocce ball is like a competition where you give kisses. Bocce.
It's like we just throw dry noodles at the wall and see who can bounce it further. Yeah. All right, so you got
it's Egypt.
Egypt. Yeah,
Just
Egypt,
across the-
Italy,
just
you know,
across
same
the
thing, Rocco.
Mediterranean.
It's-
Hey, it's spread to Greece and Rome, okay?
Oh.
Rome, Italy. It's
Yeah.
spread. Listen, I got my buddy here, ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
He said, look at that. Look at that. And its modern version of bocce ball traces its roots to Italy. I was
Of
right.
course. Yes. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Bocce.
anyways, take that. Yeah. Italian word bocce means balls.
Oh, you're talking about bocce.
Yeah.
The bocce ball.
Anyways, back to what you were saying. What were you saying?
I lost all train of thought.
Yeah.
Every,
I'm turning more into
Except
you
me.
more and more every day.
every single thought is escaped me. Ripple will be used on exchanges. Just the question is, will the market use it? Right. I have no doubt that Coinbase, they'll have it there and they'll have trading pairs. Just the thing is will this get adopted by the market? Will people start to trade in that trading pair? That's really what it comes down to. I mean, you can have the best tech, you can have the best name, you can put the trading pair on every exchange, but you need to see the order books stacked if that's going to replace the competitor, which we all know is Tether at the moment. Sure, there's Circle, but realistically, Tether's at the top of the hill. But we know that markets do shift from one product to another. Look no further than BlackBerry switching over to iPhone as far as what consumer interest and demand was. And so I do think that they will take a market share. How long will it take? And can they knock Tether off the block? That's the big question. I honestly don't know. I would like to think because of the regulatory clarity that Ripple has now going through the court case will give them more of a direct path to easily listing trading pairs and also having the green light from the SEC. So if you're an exchange, you're just like, you know what, let's just do the trading pair with RLUSD. And in doing so, we know that the SEC is not going to come after us. There's a lot of unknowns when it comes to offering Tether. We know that Tether has been in the crosshairs of the SEC.
You know, this all kind of started when Ripple purchased Standard Custody and Trust because that kind of cleared the way with the NYDFS. And I want to highlight that one, Rocco. Will you select that? Fading TradFi said, so one of the most decentralized networks using the most centralized dollar on the planet. Anyone think this is funny? The one thing to note, unless it's an algorithmic stablecoin, it's centralized. USDT centralized, USDC centralized, RLUSDC centralized, USDM centralized, PYUSD centralized. Unless it's an algorithmic stablecoin, which we saw what happened with Terra Luna. We know Cardano's got one, JED, but they haven't really gotten adoption. There has to be a central authority behind it. There has to be. And so your question is, who do you trust more? You trust Tether, you trust Ripple, you trust Circle, you trust Ripple, you trust PayPal, you trust Ripple. Those are the questions you want to answer. And the transparency that they give. And so to me, that's a non-issue. When you talk about state, in fact, I would argue majority of the time, you kind of want a central authority in stablecoins. If you're transacting billions of dollars, or at least the institutions are going to want it. You think an institution is going to want a freaking algorithmic stablecoin? Hell no. They're going to want a central authority they can trust, that have attestations and quarterly reports. And they're, it's on the open as far as how much they have backing and what is backing their stablecoin value. I want to shift from XRP to XLM. By the way, another video today. So you get two videos today. You get XRP and XLM. Today was the Future of Finance congressional hearing in the House of Representatives, and Stellar and Anchorage Digital CEO, or Stellar CEO, Stellar Development Foundation CEO, Danelle Dixon spoke. I covered that in the XLM video. And so XLM is another one that, looking at the price, and, I was going to ask Dan for this chart, but XLM down 5% on the day at 50 cents. We know it had that massive run. And this is one I was talking about at 9 cents. 9 cents. So this thing is undervalued, and it ran up to 65 cents. Has a bit of a cool off. We expect the next leg up to push it past $1. And so if you're looking for an easy 2X, I mean, how much easier does it get, right? Buy XLM at 50 cents. Guess for $1, you're 2X.
Also, I was beating the drum on GALA, and you know what? I've been telling you, hey, look out for GALA. I was saying yesterday on the show. Yesterday Well, when we were live, it was at 6 cents. It's now at 6.5 cents. So a little rally there. But first started talking.
You were talking about this at 2 cents.
Yeah. Oh no, excuse me. Yesterday I was talking about it. Excuse me. So yesterday it was at 5 cents. Now it's at 6.5 cents. And then first started talking about the potential for GALA to blow up late last week.
What was your thoughts on why this thing would rally?
It's all sectors. It's all sectors.
You think that's why Avalanche is rallying, maybe?
Yeah. And so for me, I saw Sandbox. Okay, so you had Ethereum-based tokens running, right? You had ETH ecosystem running, which we saw Sandbox and Decentraland rally.
You know what else rallied? Compound is up big.
Yeah. And so when I saw that Sandbox and Decentraland were up, we obviously know that there's not a lot of users on those two platforms, at least not Decentraland. And for them to increase in value in such a short period of time, I'm sure somebody was like, hey, gaming's up, metaverse is up, I need to get gaming tokens. And that's just how the retail mentality works. And so I was like, you know what, everything's pointing, at least for my spider sense, everything was pointing towards a rally in the gaming community. And you know what, I mean, call it a hunch or whatever, but it just felt like that was going to
What's your next hunch, bro?
I don't know. Let me look at the chart.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. While he does that, I'll do this. So big thanks to James Seifert, who's been on our show. He put out a comprehensive list of all the ETFs that are currently submitted with the SEC. You have 2 basket ETFs, one from Bitwise, one from Grayscale. You have a Bitcoin and ETH paired ETF from Hashdex and Franklin Templeton. You have 5 Solana ETFs that are currently in, including from Van Eck, 21 Shares, Canary, Bitwise, and the latest one was Grayscale. Now, the final deadline, the soonest one, is going to be February 27th of next year, the final deadline for the Bitcoin and ETH pair. The next one is going to be on July 2nd. This is for the basket ETF, the final deadline. Now, I think with a new SEC chair, we're not going to make it to the final deadline. So we're definitely looking after the 20th, which would bring us the first one that's the second deadline. Next up would be Grayscale's large basket, which includes the likes of Near Protocol, which includes the likes of Ethereum, which includes the likes, I believe, Cardano's in there too, I believe. I could be wrong. Someone could fact check me on that. But that's February 2nd. So we might have, maybe it's Paul Atkins, maybe it's someone else, comes in, they look at the deadlines, second deadline, approval, bam, those coins in, leading up to it at least, those coins in the basket ETF that Grayscale has on file should see a significant rally. You also have 4 XRP ETFs. Bitwise, Canary, 21 Shares, and Wisdom Tree.
Litecoin one is really sparking my interest, not because I have interest in Litecoin, but we know what the counterpart is. The co-mined coin is Dogecoin, and we've thought to ourselves, when are we going to get that Dogecoin ETF? We see that meme coins have sparked conversation on mainstream media, on Fox, on CNN, and Doge, obviously front and center with the whole Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency. I am thinking that Doge is going to get an ETF. And if you're wondering what sector is going to pop up next, I do think that memes have taken a little bit of a cool off this last few weeks. And we saw Bitcoin run. We have yet to see the altcoins go parabolic. Now, what do I mean by parabolic? Take a look at this. You have Doge. This is on the 1 month chart. So at the beginning of November, Doge was at 15 cents. At the beginning of November, Doge was at 15 cents a little over a month ago, and it was at 10 cents in the beginning of October. So from October, it went up 50% from October to November. November, it almost 3x'd. And so you look at the 1 month chart. You go back here and you say, hey, this has been a nice consolidation. It was in the second week of November, almost a month ago. We saw Doge get into the 40-cent range, and it is yet to break out above this area. And so could we see a Doge ETF listing and that be the catalyst to the next leg up? I think that Doge is not only going to break out, but I think it's going to blow past its previous all-time high, which was, I think, 65 cents, right?
70 cents.
70 cents. And I think that we start testing.
How high do you think Doge goes?
I think we
Rob?
start testing the dollar range and mark it down. Get the snapshots out. Get them ready. Clip this. Put it down. Tattoo it on your butt cheek. Doge to past all-time highs by the end of the year. I'm going to say 85-cent Doge by the end of by December 31st. We got an 85-cent Doge. More than a 2x. I would not be surprised to see Doge over $1 by the end of the year.
Okay. You know, I had this pulled up while you were talking about meme coins. Coinbase has been on an absolute tear listing memes. We know they added Mudang and Mog. Let's take a look at what else they added. Rob, they added GigaChad and Turbo. So Turbo was the first meme coin created by an AI. And that thing had a huge rally. Surprised it didn't rally harder on this news. And then GigaChad, that got listed. So it seems like Coinbase is starting to open the meme coin floodgates. And I've been the one person on this channel that has said, and I got some pushback from my co-hosts here. You want to make some stupid money, and you're okay with the risk, have 20% of your portfolio in meme coins. And so that sounds crazy. I know it's not for a lot of people, but I'm a risk taker. I'm trying to make some life-changing money. Maybe you are too. If you're willing to take on the risk and you understand the risk and you have a plan in place and you don't fall to the euphoria, you're going to make a lot of life-changing money. And I think this is just the beginning of what we're going to see listed for meme coins on platforms like Coinbase, like Crypto.com, like Binance. The regulatory landscape is opening up here in the U.S., so can we see Binance come to the U.S. instead of having a Binance U.S. and a Binance? Can we see the largest exchange in the world get access to the U.S. markets? And we know people are all about memes, man, especially the young people, right? It's a community. It's fun. It can go up fast, right? You have tons of new meme coins. This is something to keep an eye on. And so, yeah. That's all I got for that. We have this. Altcoin Google searches spiked to 2021 all-time highs. Google Trends data shows a big spike in interest in the term altcoins as of December 4th, reaching a score of 88 out of 100. This nearly matches all-time highs seen during the altcoin season in 2021. What's your word of advice to people who want to catch some of this momentum here on altcoins, Rob?
I would say find out what your favorite altcoins are and see which ones haven't moved in the last month or haven't had breakouts. And I think that's the key right there. Because you could theoretically jump on a coin that's absolutely skyrocketed. Could you buy XRP now at $2 and it run to 10? Anything's on the table. Wouldn't surprise me. And I do think that price will come to fruition. I think it's going to take a little time. But if you're trying to make some money, if you're trying to play this bull market in the right scenario, I would say look what hasn't rallied and then start putting your positions in on those now. And that's what I was doing last week when I said, hey, you know what? GALA hasn't moved much. And I think that it is prime to pop off. That's why I mentioned that one. I said the same thing about Avalanche. I'm like, hey, all the other layer ones in the similar range, similar communities, similar utility, have really exploded. Avalanche has been left out. That's why I'm looking at that. And, Stellar Lumens. I know that was something for us. They were like, hey, you know what? Stellar, XRP, they haven't moved in forever. Like, it's time to put a position in on those. And that's my mentality. And this is going to get ever more volatile. So just because it just pumped, I think once Bitcoin moves to the next leg up. Once you see that $110,000 Bitcoin, at that point, start revisiting which ones broke out last time, right? Because I'll tell you what, if Bitcoin gets to 115,000, you best believe there's going to be another breakout for Cardano. Maybe it consolidates here at this current range at $1.15 for, I don't know, weeks or perhaps months. Maybe, but what I am betting on is that it is waiting for the breakout from Bitcoin. And that's my strategy.
Rob, speaking of breakout, I'm going to cut you off, but ICP is running right now. This is the best gainer, the highest gainer in the 1 hour, crossing the $15 range. Look at this ICP. Look at these candles. So, I pulled this chart up, and this is a pattern I had on here probably for 2 or 3 weeks. And we talked about a breakout and a retest. Well, we got the breakout. We didn't really get the retest. We just went straight up, straight shot up. We even had a large liquidation candle to the upside. We saw a little bit of consolidation for a matter of maybe a week. And it's just been nothing but large green candles. Even when we got a wick down to around $14.13, the bulls were able to push the price back up. And we're getting ever closer, Rob, to that cycle high of $20. We're only around a 25% off to get to those cycle highs for ICP. Is ICP a coin that if you want to become wealthy or rich from crypto, that needs to be in your portfolio?
I think so. And once again, back to the thesis on, hey, what are you going to identify in this next leg of investing, right? Where are you going to shift money is to look at projects that have yet to break out, and ICP, it embodies that, right? I mean, you've seen it outperformed by all the other layer ones so far, or at least the ones above it on the market cap list. And it's since sitting there. It's a sleeping giant, tons of utility, massive partnerships. And you know what? It is fast, efficient, and there is a big ass community behind ICP. So I am 100% on board with that. I want to know where the chat stands here. We got over 420 live viewers. First of all, we only got 130 likes. So do us a favor, like the video. Let's get over 200 likes, please. And thank you. But I want to get your perspective. You watching. I want to know, which one do you hold more of right now? Are you heavier in Bitcoin or are you heavier in alts? Put a 1 in the chat if you have majority of your portfolio in Bitcoin. Put a 2 in the chat if you have majority of your portfolio in altcoins. I want to know where we stand so that way we can decide what is the best strategic move for our audience. Do you long-term play this or do you play the altcoin markets? We're gonna see where you guys land, and then we'll act accordingly. So make sure, do us a favor, participate. I want to see everyone put a 1 or 2. Thank you.
Looking at ICP versus some of the biggest names. So you have here ICP versus Cardano. Looks like ICP starting to break out after hitting a low we haven't seen really since December 2023. So it's breaking out against Cardano. It's been breaking out against Solana. And so from November 22nd, if you held ICP in your portfolio over Solana, you'd be up over 80%. ICP versus Bitcoin, another historical low. If you purchased ICP on this Bitcoin pair at its low, since then, again, November 22nd, you'd be up over 70% versus BTC. And so ICP is a strong candidate. It is a very, very solid infrastructure play. And when I say infrastructure, I'm talking about everything from AI to DeFi to interoperability to almost anything. And so the tech ICP has is truly a unicorn. And the things they do, really no one else can do in the space. And so, this is a project we've been covering for a while also. And so if you've been holding ICP, shout out to you because you guys are in the green. And then, taking a look at the ICP USD pair, take a look at where the price is now. Is the rally continuing? If I can find this damn chart here, it's going to pull up a new one. ICP USDT. There we go. Pull it up from Binance as it has the most liquidity. So, this thing ain't stopping. $15.33. We go back to this. Still the number one gainer on the hour And you take a look at the rest of the market.
I think it's going straight to $20.
I mean, that's the next, yeah.
I don't think it's going to slow down. I think it's going straight to $20.
I mean, Bitcoin's moving 97.3. ETH is approaching 4K. ETH is approaching 4K. I want to talk about what Jonathan Dello said. Isn't ICP very inflationary? It can be. Very similar to Ethereum. If people are using the network and cycles are being burnt, which in turn ICP tokens get burned, and as long as the burn rate is outpacing the inflation rate, then it becomes deflationary. So it can either be inflationary or deflationary depending on network usage, which is why we've been saying the more people ICP and the more dApps ICP brings into their ecosystem and they're using the network, it becomes deflationary, and it's got the perfect setup for large pumps. We saw that with ETH. We're going to see with ICP. We're going to see with other tokens. We saw with Solana. I mean, in fact, Solana is kind of the same thing also. And so, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? We asked the chat, and y'all showed
What
up
were the
with
ones in
a
twos?
ton of twos.
What were the ones?
Which is altcoin portfolio. And so, you know, to speak on to the majority of you, I didn't see very many ones. So most of you are heavy on the altcoins. I would say that if you were in Bitcoin, I would say, hey, you know, like if you are not just simply buying for retirement, it might be a good idea to rotate some of your Bitcoin position into alts to catch a higher percentage gain. But most of you there are already there. I would say this to you. Whatever project you're in, no matter how bullish you are on it, you are uncertain of the future. There will be projects that stall, and perhaps there's some kind of compromise with security. Maybe there's a hack, or maybe just simply the community doesn't get behind a project the way you think it is. You know, we get stuck in these echo chambers and we're like, hey, my project is the fastest. And I go through the comments every day, and there's no shortage of saying, you know, anytime anyone has an achievement, well, we'll use Cardano for an example. Anytime anyone has an achievement, say, hey, Cardano hit 1 million transactions per second through the Hydra network with all the Hydra heads running the Doom tournament.
Sick, by the way.
And there was so many comments in there that were saying, like, well, this chain does it too. It does it faster. Like chill, bro. Like, chill. Like, you know what? At the end of the day, all the cryptos that are around for 5+ years, all of them are going to eventually be scalable, and all of them are going to eventually be able to hit 1 million transactions per second, minus perhaps like Ethereum base layer. So the tech is evolving. All of them are upgrading, and all of them will get there eventually. And so I would say this: your chain is not so unique that it does something nothing else will ever do. And so all I say to you watching, if you are heavy in alts, for God's sake, don't just simply stay in one coin and say this one's going to outperform everything, because it's not. The likelihood of your altcoin outperforming all the other altcoins is minuscule. And so don't miss out on the trend and get stuck on one of your favorite projects. We have 8 or 9 favorite projects, and you know what? Probably 2 or 3 of them are going to underperform our expectations. It's going to underperform the community's expectations. And if we just simply put all of our money in one of those, we would lose. We would lose against the potential of simply holding 3 or 4, and you can take on plenty of risk. It's not like I'm not saying like buy just Bitcoin and just ride that out, but take on a little bit of risk, diversify, open your mind to that there's more than just the one of your favorite token out there.
You know, you said chill, and the first thing that came to mind was this.
My yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
Daddy, chill. It's hilarious. All right, guys, that'll do it for today's show. If this is your first time watching us,
Let
welcome.
me give a little shout out to the people first time watching. We had a lot of new names: EK Trade, GI Joe, Ryland, Den Pie, we got Rise. We also got T Lock, Remon, BGTT, Crypto Gab, USA Power, Nick G, New Crypto, Jen, Ruben, Elstan, MKK, Amir, Casper Queen, Juan Carlos, Tyler Key, Mr. Brown, Rahan, Gombi, Fungi, Metal Gear, and Junior. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Welcome. Also, we welcome you back tomorrow for our live show again. We go live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Also, again, guys, XRP, XLM videos dropping today. Again, we say it all the time. We're wrapping up our content, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, Rocco.
He got it perfect timing. That
It was not
great
perfect timing.
Perfect
I didn't sin it. Anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of you. Come back tomorrow, same place, same time. We love you guys. Until then, peace.
I like Rocco's finger today.
Why are you spazzing out?
Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin, it's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.